Fledgling birds are young birds who are leaving the nest for the first time. You can usually identify them by their short tails and their white, pink, or yellow lips around the edges of their beak. Most birds leave the nest before they can fly because inside the nest they're vulnerable to predators and changes in the weather. The sooner they leave the nest, the sooner they can learn to get away from danger and find shelter and food. Even though they can't fly yet, they can still move around on the ground, and their parents are taking care of them from a distance as they learn. Concerned observers often see fledglings on the ground and think that something is wrong. But this stage is a natural part of the bird's development, and most of the time, no human intervention is required to help the bird transition to the next stage in its life. Unfortunately, however, well-intentioned folks sometimes find fledglings and collect them from the wild in an unnecessary attempt to rehabilitate them. Sadly, this can lead to issues in their development and longevity in the wild. The BC Wildlife Park is the permanent home of 2 birds who were collected from the wild and were unable to be released again due to excessive human contact, and we should learn from their stories how to do the right thing for fledglings. Igor the common raven was found as a fledgling by a member of the public who believed he was in need of help, so they collected him from the wild and tried to raise him themselves. After a while, they gave him to someone else who tried to keep him as a pet. Igor became accustomed to being fed by humans and never learned from his natural parents how to forage in the wild. So he showed aggression toward other humans in his neighborhood and was unfortunately a hazard when he went outside. It became clear to the people caring for Igor that he did not make a suitable pet, but he also couldn't easily be released again. It made people uncomfortable having such a large and aggressive bird living in their community, and Igor was at risk of vehicle collisions or other intentional or unintentional harm from humans. The best solution for the well-being of both Igor and the people in his area was for Igor to be brought into permanent human care at the BC Wildlife Park. Gontran the turkey vulture was found by children alone in a nest during his combined nestling and fledgling stage of life. Perhaps assuming the bird was abandoned or just unaware of the consequences of removing wildlife from their natural habitats, the children took him from the nest. They tried to keep him as an illegal pet, but they quickly discovered that turkey vultures are a powerful and often aggressive species that's not suitable to be a household pet. Once he was surrendered, Gontran was unable to return to the wild because his parents never finished raising him. Turkey vultures need to learn how to socially interact with other turkey vultures and how to scavenge for food, skills that no human could ever teach him. In addition, he would likely find himself in dangerously close contact with humans as he had become accustomed to being hand-fed. He was eventually rescued by an accredited animal care facility in Quebec and then transferred to the BC Wildlife Park. Igor and Gontran can teach us that birds are meant to be raised by their own kind, and we should do everything we can to allow that to happen. We should never jump to conclusions too quickly about the well-being of a fledgling, and always take the time to observe and assess the situation in order to thoughtfully and compassionately take the right course of action. We will never know if either of them was truly in need of human intervention to survive, but we do know that consulting with a licensed wildlife rehabilitation center about what to do would have been a better solution. If you see a fledgling you think might be in need of help, you should stand back, preferably from indoors, and watch from afar. Wait to see if the parents come back and bring it food. They usually return every 15 to 30 minutes, but you should wait at least 2 hours. In all likelihood, the parents will return and the young bird is just fine. But if you do see clear signs of distress or injury like blood, drooping wings, or severe lethargy, or you notice immediate threats like traffic or domestic cats, you can contact a licensed wildlife rehabilitation center for advice, like the Fawcett Family Wildlife Health Center here at the BC Wildlife Park. So next time you see a fledgling bird on the ground and are tempted to intervene, remember Igor and Gontran's stories and step back from the situation to ask yourself what's really best for the bird.